Lasheze, and most people call me V Dollar. I think it's a cool name because it has to do with money, and I'm into the money space. So whenever you hear V Dollar, well, you know about, actually you only hear money and so forth. So yes, please. So I've been trading for the last 6 years. And yes, okay. So I'm currently 25 and got in much earlier. I was really much younger. And I've been able to achieve a lot of success entirely through trading. But then also more than that, I've trained thousands of young Ugandans and, you know, at large on how to start trading. And I'm also proud to say that at the moment, almost everyone who knows about trading in Uganda or East Africa at large, by the way, has known trading after being inspired by video at some point. Wow. And yes, I think other than that, I'm the guy who was trending with, you know, a watch. It's crazy, bro. I don't know if I have to even talk about this, but it's a great pleasure being here for sure.
So tell us a thing or two, because as we make an understanding of this, let's make an understanding. What is Forex trading?
Yes. Well, so trading is as how it is Forex. So it's, in other words, foreign exchange. So it deals with the exchange of money. So to say you're trading the Ugandan shilling for the dollar, or you're trading the dollar for the pound and so forth. So the best example is to say, let's say you go to the Forex Bureau and you had the dollar and you want the Ugandan shilling. So in other words, you're going to sell your dollar to the Forex Bureau and then you'll buy the Ugandan shilling in return. So in that transaction, the Forex Bureau is making money. And in other words, if you actually understand when to buy or sell, you can actually do this on your own. And that's what trading is about. So in other words, we are doing what Forex bureaus do, but this time around we are just using our phones because we have the internet. So as long as you have a phone or, you know, a laptop, you're able to trade and make money.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So talking about Forex trading, we've talked about a phone.
Yes.
The internet. What requirements other than those two do I need to make available to get started?
Okay. Well, it's being a business actually. Obviously, in other words, these are the basic things that you need. So apart from your phone, your internet and so forth, I'll say the most important thing to do with trading is the skill set, learning. And I'll also talk about capital later on, but I think learning or understanding how the the business goes is very, very important. Other than what, you know, we see on social media and so forth, you need to invest in a bit of time or money to actually learn and understand how the business goes. Then other than that, you need to have capital. Capital is not a big question. I mean, if you could, you know,
I was about to say the same. But,
okay.
Because I'm thinking of joining, but then when I look at you, I'm like, he's the capital I'll use.
Anyway, we are still locked in. So about the capital thing of side of things, so capital is not a big problem. I think the biggest thing is the education side of things. So for capital, you could start with as less as 50,000 UGX.
Wow,
that's crazy, right? But then yes, that's not a limitation to say that you can only start with 50,000. If you have 100 million, still well and good. If you have a billion, still well and good. So you can always start with 50,000, okay, $10 and so forth. Another thing is your capital determines your profit. So someone trading with 100,000 Ugandan shillings is going to make profits that are totally different from someone trading with less than 1 million Ugandan shilling, or 5 million and so forth. It's just like any other businesses.
Vidola, let's make an understanding of something before we actually go deeper.
Yeah.
When we talk Forex trading, I want to believe for people like me that have tried it out, but not on the basis that you are.
Yes.
I've done physical Forex trading. That is physically go tender.
Yes.
You know, not necessarily digital. And when I make mention of digital, of course, in my mind, there comes the cryptocurrencies of this world, Bitcoins, the pies of this world, etc. Is this kind of business physical, as in I touch my money, I feel my money, or perhaps this is digital transactions?
Oh, yeah. Well, for the transactions, they're digital. But then when you're withdrawing, it's tangible. You could have your money. Because for most of us, let me give an example. I personally make most of my withdrawals through mobile money or through the bank. So it's easy. So in other words, you could deposit directly through your mobile, just like how you could normally pay for a service or something, go deposit to buy something and so forth. And then you trade, okay? So trading is typically online. And that means once the money is in, now you can actually use it to transact, to buy, let's say, the dollar or buy the euro and so forth. then say you've already made your profit. Now you can withdraw this directly through your mobile money or your bank. And I love getting my money in cash. So once it's on the bank, I need it in cash. I need to see it, you know,
right,
type of a thing. Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
As we actually cross to another bit of the dimension, how does it feel being rich?
Well,
At that tender age?
yeah. Oh my goodness. Common question and tricky.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well, it feels good because you realize you have the freedom to do almost everything that you do. Now, to me, like, the whole bigger picture for me was always to like have the freedom to drive a cool car or travel or, you know, have a cool team, you know, that, you know, we get to do some cool stuff together. Yeah. So money has brought in that freedom, and it feels good. It feels good. It feels good to have the money because it gets you the freedom. You know, well, they say money doesn't buy happiness, but to some extent, I feel like money could get you experiences that gets you the happiness. In other words, you need money at the end of the day, and you actually need money for sure. Yes.
You've just reminded me of Tenny, the Nigerian singer's song, Money. Money can't buy you happiness.
But you can buy a Lambo. Exactly. Yes.
All right. I want to make an understanding of this forex trading.
Yes.
You know, like I told you, I've been into this kind of thing, but not officially like you do or formally.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is this as well one of those practices or maybe activities governed by the Uganda Securities Exchange, USE, and the like? Or basically, do we have laws on forex trading? Yeah.
Well, at the moment, as in for Uganda, we don't have active regulations for the trade, actually the foreign exchange markets. Though we do have USE, which specifically goes for stocks and so forth and so on. But for the forex exchange, for the foreign exchange market at the moment, none. But this is what happens. So we have the so-called brokers, okay? And these brokers are regulated internationally. So most of these basically hold licenses in the UK, you know, actually UK, Cyprus, Mauritius, and so forth. So they are actually licensed to basically operate. So that's how we get, you know, to transact. But looking at our neighbors, Kenya, in Kenya, trading is actually regulated, and they have laws already. Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, I would say. I think other African countries, I may not be so aware about this, but I think sooner or later, maybe in Uganda here, we could finally have that. I think that would also add that sense of like, okay, this is a real business, because we've still had these people say, oh, you know, I can't trade because I feel like trading is not real or trading is a scam, you know, or maybe because the government hasn't regulated it, which is crazy. But sooner or later, perhaps we should, you know, be able to see the regulation. And I feel like that's also going to add more clarity, and, you know, it's also going to add more emphasis on how the business goes and how many people, rather, which people should actually venture into it and so forth. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Well, for those of you that do not know, or perhaps you've just fallen in right now, we do have $V in studio, and that is the studios of Magic 100 FM. I often go back and forth. I'm wondering how you started, because I don't think you just simply came up with an idea. Yeah. You say 6 years of trading. Yeah. Probably you started at 19. Yes. 18, 19.
19, yeah.
I'm wondering how that idea crossed your mind, because at that age, 18, 19, I was still having the dream of, when I join campus.
Be a pilot?
No, that one never crossed my mind. I was supposed to be a medical doctor.
Oh, yes.
Just like Dr. Mitch Egwang.
Okay.
We simply crossed and followed the media trend.
Yes.
For which Mitch Egwang is now a veterinary doc. And, well, I am in media.
Okay. Well, same dreams.
Up to put it right. He crossed and joined media. He's actually a mogul in media. That is Mitch Egwang. While I'm hosting $V.
Oh, well, I mean, it's also a great pleasure either anyway. So the thing is, well, same. I think for me too, I always wanted to, by the way, I think for me and the school route, I wanted to be a civil engineer. Ooh. And I was too serious about that. My parents were extremely serious about that.
Wow.
And I was too locked in for that. But then, I think 2019, I was getting done with my high school. And obviously same route. At some point you now need to start, working or doing something on the side.
Yeah.
But for some reason I was so interested in the internet. I was so exposed to YouTube and so forth. So I get to see young people now, not even Ugandans, but guys from Western countries, but young, my age. I'm like, okay, cool. This guy is able to do this and that. Now, by then I didn't bump into trading immediately.
Okay.
But I get to like find, these guys make money by selling products online, or they, do this and that and that. So I'm so curious. I'm like, okay, well and good. I think I should be able to do that. So to me, the limitation was like, okay, cool. You're in Uganda and these guys are in the US or Europe or somewhat. How are you going to be able to do this? So I all in all said, okay, I'm going to try this, but all in all, I'm going to start an online business. So before even trading, I did a ton. Like I really did a ton of online businesses. I think to say some, I did, it's called drop shipping. Drop shipping is like you buy products on behalf of clients and you ship them, something of the sort. Then at some point I read an online shop. I was selling ebooks. It's a lot. I can't say everything, Then for some reason, I'm scrolling over YouTube and I bump into an ad, you could become a millionaire trading. Like, trading, okay. So to me, the first thing is like, or maybe you need a Forex bureau, because at least I knew you could exchange money and so forth. Yeah. So maybe you need a Forex bureau, but then I'm too broke for that. So I started digging into that. But at that point, I also thought, maybe there's a scam because, but then there's a lot of scams online and all that. So I started digging even deeper into it. Now, as I dig, I bump into some young traders from South Africa. Yes. And that was bringing me closer to the dream. Okay, I'm like, these Africans, I'm African. If they are making it, I mean, who am I? Exactly. So I bump into that, dive even deeper into it. And that's when COVID comes in. So for me, COVID, everything is locked down, nothing is happening. And for me, it's basically learning. And for then I was too locked in to learn how does trading work? Can I actually make money and so forth and so on? Long story short, to me, that was the start of the journey. 2020, actually at the end of 2020, I was really getting good. And 2021, I have school and I have to go back for school. And that's when I made a decision I would take a different route. And by then, my dreams of becoming a civil engineer were basically put on the side, and I had to pursue this other side. Yes.
I know, just like one of my friends, Ibra Drago. Wow. Well, he often tells me a thing or two. He wanted to be Superman when he grows up. But unfortunately, he's not even a quarter of that as we speak right now. But anyway, you said 6 years it is so far.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering when the breakthrough came, because I'm sure when you started, you were not seeing the dividends, the profits.
Yes.
But eventually now, you're a big boy in a small body.
Okay, well, that's correct. So the thing is, 2021, actually, I would say I had my big break right at the end of 2021. So 2021, I have school and so forth and all. But then I make this big decision. Actually, I would say that was like the biggest decision for me, to say, okay, for now, I'm going to play school on the side and, fully go on this career path and so forth. And by the way, by then, trading is like a new thing in Uganda. You tell someone I do trading, say, do trading? What's that? I even remember even my closest high school friends, university friends, none of these guys believed in this. And at some point I'm like, okay, I'll make this work, I'll make this happen, so these guys will actually believe, So I'm looking at like, how do I get the results to do the talking, so forth. So same year, I fully lock in, take a different route. Now, at some point I did get a mentor. I got to learn, I would say I learned most of these things on my own. I got to learn, through YouTube and so forth and so forth. Then at some point, I decide, okay, I'm going to invest a bit of this money into my trading, but also I'm also going to invest this much into learning. So I get a guy, now not even Uganda, not even African, some guy based in the US, and we are learning on Zoom, and by the Zoom is a big thing by then.
Yeah, sure.
So get really good at it. Now I would say in 2021, that's when I made like my first 1,000. So in other words, I got $250 to 1,000 in like 2 weeks. Now making your first $1,000, that's like 3.6 million. And you're just a university guy or who just left university or something, and you're making that much. to me, that was a big dream. To me, that was like, okay, now this works. Now, keep in mind, I mean, back in the day, I'm still making a bit of money, like $10, like 30K, 40K. Sometimes I lose, you know, but I'm still locked in. And I'm making my first 1,000. To me, that was like the biggest milestone. So I would say 2021 was like the biggest, you know, that's when everything unlocked and, you know, got on this whole thing. Yes.
You did mention something like sometimes I lose, sometimes I'm making the money. I'm beginning to think, is this not betting of sorts or gambling?
Well, no. Trading is not betting and it's not gambling. So trading is a business, and it's a business like any other business. See, when you're running a business, you'll have bad days where you could, you know, maybe won't get clients, or something is going to happen and you're going to make a loss. And that's the same thing with trading. So the thing is, maybe the technical side of things is we buy and sell, and you want to buy when a given currency or commodity is gaining value. And that means if you buy expecting the value to go up and it's actually going down, well, you lose money on that single trade. Yes. But now the thing is, or the difference is, we have what we call risk management. Risk management is, how do I manage my money? Okay, let's say I'm trading with 1 million Ugandan shillings. How am I going to, rather, I'm going to basically risk, let's say 50,000 on this single one trade, but I want to make 150,000. See? So in other words, you're like risking 1 to make 3. And now that's risk management. So that's like the biggest difference. So I've seen like a lot of guys say, oh, okay, $, maybe trading is like gambling or betting. No, it's different. It's different. You have an edge here, and you have, actually here you have control over your money. So I would say, rather than, you know, getting that 100K and investing it into betting, come on, open a trading account, Lando. Do you, by the way, this is like, I'm curious.
Yes.
For you to bet, do you need to learn how to bet?
Yes, they do.
Really?
They do.
Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy, actually. So I would say, rather than getting the 100,000, another 200,000 and placing a bet, which you basically have no control over, you don't even understand the outcomes, why don't you get that money, let's say it's 100,000, and invest it into a trading account where you risk 10,000 to make 40,000 or 30,000, and at least you have control over whatever, you know, is going on. Basically, that's the thing. Yeah.
I know the guys that bet are about to say, we have control, we have the cash out.
how do you? Oh my god, you know, cash outs. Oh my goodness. How?
But still on that same point.
Yes.
I'm beginning to think this is a thing that we've actually downplayed for long, and I'm wondering how, for example, the people that are managing the stock markets perceive you. Are they welcoming you to their platforms? Do you speak to them?
Yeah.
Do they come to you? Because, for example, I'm this kind of person who often looks at, if I hit my 50M from the first 3 months of this year, 2026, I want to buy stocks in, let's say, one of the newspapers or one of the telecom companies. And now here comes an idea that sells big from $. Do these guys come to you?
Yeah, I've actually interacted with some. I've also interacted with brokers that are into the stock exchange here. And yeah, we've actually also been able to do some business. Maybe now the thing is, I would say the stock exchange industry here is still a bit backward, okay, in a sense of, for you to transact, you need to go to the office physically. Okay, I think it's just like some time back where you could finally buy stocks on your phone and so forth, but you're still unable to track the progress. Okay, you invested $1 million, but how are you going to see how things are running, rather going and so forth? So, no, I think not really a bad space. By the way, I would say if you know how to trade Forex, then you should also invest in 2 stocks, because same financial markets, and I mean, if you've made money, then it's also better to invest some back into, you know, something that is actually going to make you some money in return. But I've also been able to invest into some, you know, yes.
Wow. So how big is Forex trading in Uganda?
Oh, it's big.
Whoa.
And it's very big.
Out of a 10 out of 10 rating, how big is it?
Okay.
Or rather, out of 10?
Yes. All right. So I would say at this moment, on a scale of 10, I would say 8. 8. Wow. Now, we could try this, okay? If you go to any university at the moment, anywhere in Uganda, whether you're in Gulu,
I'll
whether
go to any, but I'll not go to where Drago went. I'll go to any university,
bro,
but not
any university, okay? By the way, even institutions or even schools, and ask trading or some, you'll have a couple of guys who actually know about trading. So it's now getting bigger because you see, this is like a replacement to say, okay, you've graduated. Okay, now so what? No jobs, no nothing. You need to learn something. You don't want to go gamble and bet and so forth. No, you need to learn a skill, like a real skill. And what's that? Trading. So every time you go on the internet, it's trading. And I think for a country like Uganda, this is a thing. So looking at the progress from like 2021 to this moment now, oh my goodness, we've seen crazy progress. And by the way, side note, all the guys that drive cool cars, cool sports cars around Kampala, trade.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow.
Please.
So how do we then differ Forex trading from Chikubo trading, Nakasero trading, Nakawa trading? Yes.
Okay, they're all trading. I mean,
is it possible that a person from Kalere Market, from Nakawa, from Nakasero, from Chikubo, as a trader, can easily fit into this kind of trading?
Yes. Or maybe to start off with the first question, yes. So it's all trading. Or maybe now one is physical and one is online. Yes. Now, the thing of, can anyone actually trade? Yes, anyone can actually trade. It's as long as you're able to read or understand data, then you can actually trade. Some people think, trading is some rocket science, so you need to study math. I got this guy ask, Daniel, I want to trade. Do I need to have a degree in this? I'm like, bro, come on, honestly. So it's like a thing. You see now things are so digital. It's like to say you could go on the internet and learn how to operate a camera. We could go to the internet and learn how to drive, by the way, which is crazy. So it's the same thing with trading. You get to learn and see, okay, this is when the price is going up, so I need to buy. Or this is when the price is going down, so I need to sell, okay? And once you understand those concepts, you get to practice. By the way, even on the practice side of things, you get to practice not even with real money, but with virtual funds. We call that a demo account or a demonstration account. So you practice and say, okay, this is when I'm supposed to buy, this is when I'm supposed to sell, until you get so good at it, and then you trade. I have a lot of young traders, right in the ghettos, and to me it's really inspiring because I feel like that's the best way to make it out without having to go hustle, find a job and so forth. You could make some money on your phone and
you're good to go.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we do return from this break, we shall be finding out what the Forex Bulls Academy does. He's the CEO as well as the founder, and maybe perhaps how he got to learn how to trade is what the Forex Bulls Academy does. How about we find out in a few? Keep it magic, don't you touch your dial.